What happens when you're denied an assistant at work? I worked in a warehouse for a major supermarket chain. My role was to inspect shipments before they were loaded onto trucks. Every inspector had at least one assistant to help. We got a new supervisor who came in thinking he had to shake everything up. He assigned assistants to each inspector, but my name had none next to it. He brushed me off, saying other assistants would help me. I knew that wasn't going to cut it. I decided to stick strictly to my job description. I set up my dock, marked the shipments, then crossed my arms and waited. Hours later, the supervisor finally came by and saw my untouched dock. "Why isn't your load ready?" he asked. I replied, "I don't have an assistant." Some assistants came by briefly but had to leave to finish their own tasks. My load stayed incomplete. By the end of my shift, I had only managed to process half a load. I left the paperwork in plain sight and clocked out on time. The supervisor questioned me again, and I calmly pointed him to the documents without stopping. The next day, I was called into a meeting with him and the manager. I stood my ground, explaining my job didn't include heavy lifting. I had helped out of goodwill, but not anymore. The manager looked at the supervisor and said, "He needs an assistant." I got one that same day. A few months later, that supervisor was demoted and our old one returned. Everything went back to normal.